We move from one protest to another and turn our attention to Kenya, where the embattled president is making another gambit. Kenya's President William Ruto is under immense pressure. He is struggling to contain public anger. For those of you who don't know, Kenya has been facing protests for weeks now. They began in mid-June. People took to the streets to protest against the country's annual budget. The Finance Bill 2024, that's what the budget was called. Ruto's government wanted to raise taxes. He wanted to tax basics like bread and fuel. But the people were having none of it. Young Kenyans organized themselves on social media. Gen Z led the charge here, and soon thousands were out on the streets. On June 25th, the protesters stormed the Parliament building, and they forced Ruto to back down. He scrapped his own finance bill and withdrew the proposed new taxes. But by then it was too late. The protests had morphed. They were no longer just about taxes. Instead, the target had become Ruto himself. You can hear the same chant at every single protest, Ruto must go. That is the protest anthem. The Kenyan protesters blame Ruto for the mess the country is in. Ruto has been raising taxes since he became president in 2022. This has exacerbated the cost of living crisis in Kenya. People say they cannot pay anymore, which is why the protest began. But Ruto responded with force. Police brutality was on full display. At least 50 people have been killed and dozens of others are injured. This angered the protesters who blamed Ruto for the brutality. They want accountability for the lives lost, and they want Ruto to resign. But the president shows no sign of stepping down. Instead, he is trying everything to placate the protesters. First, he scrapped the controversial finance bill. Then he tried talking to the protesters. Ruto took part in an online debate with them. But that did not help. After this, he tried a government reshuffle. He fired most of his cabinet and promised a reset. Since then, he's been restoring his cabinet. Last week, he appointed 11 people, 6 old faces, 5 new ones. Of course, that's not really a complete reset. So today, he went to greater lengths. He appointed 4 more people to the cabinet, and this time, all of them are new. In fact, they aren't even members of his political party. These 4 new appointees are members of the opposition, allies of Ruto's biggest rival, Raila Odinga. That is how far William Ruto is willing to go. He has given Kenya's key ministries to his rivals, finance and energy given to the opposition, in the hopes that this will end the protests. Ruto also said that he will address a major public concern, corruption.
I have this to say to Kenyans. I have heard you, and I have heard you clearly. I will be proposing amendments to the Evidence Act and the Criminal Procedure Code, among other necessary legislative amendments to all statutes relating to corruption, to expedite investigations and prosecution of corruption and economic crimes cases, and provide for their conclusion within 6 months.
Will today's moves work? Will the people of Kenya finally calm down? It seems unlikely. Here's why I say this. Here are some of the initial reactions that have come in. One person said it was the politics of self-interest. Another said that the fight would not end. A third said that Ruto had, quote-unquote, appointed corrupt people to fight corruption. These 3 don't seem to want to stand down, and others may not either. Today, Ruto said that he has heard the people of Kenya clearly. But for weeks, this is what the people of Kenya have been saying. Unless he manages to change that chant, unless he changes hearts and minds, the Kenyan protests won't die down, no matter who Ruto appoints to his cabinet.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On this today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies.